portable power bank, wireless AP, SD card, and USB reader for your mobile devices? Check the link in the video description to learn more about the ADATA Dash Drive Air AE400. Welcome to my unboxing of the console headset explosion here. This is the Earforce XP7 from Turtle Beach, which is going to be very similar to the Earforce Z7, which would be the PC variant that doesn't include the console interface right here. So why don't we start with what's actually included in the box, since it's all conveniently spread out all over the place here. So number one is you get the headset itself. It's a little bit on the heavy side, but of course that makes it feel more quality. It's just whether or not that's worth it to you when you have it sitting on your head is totally up to you. It's not super heavy or anything like that though. Next up, you've got the adapter from their multi-pin connector here. So there's like a breakaway connector that has a convenient line so you don't plug it in incorrectly, to a simple 4-pole 3.5mm jack. All right, next you've got the control unit. Okay, so this guy right here is where the magic happens, because this headset is more than just an analog headset. I love that you have the option to use it analog, but they've got a fully programmable DSP that is right in here. So that's a digital sound processor. And there's a whole bunch of cool stuff you can do with that. More on that later. That comes with a nice long cable and comes with a nice long extension cable. So the idea is that that control pod should be able to sit next to you while you're gaming, even if your console is sort of across the room and you're sitting on your couch or whatever else. So there, the extension cable goes there. Next up, we have power for the console interface here. So that's just a simple USB connector, and then that'll plug into this control pod right here. All right, the next cable we've got is the mobile cable, which actually looks pretty similar to the regular headset cable. However, what it does is it is wired so that you're not going to have microphones interfering with each other and all that kind of stuff if you want to take a call or whatever else. So it is clearly labeled. It has a little button on it so that you can take calls. See that? And it's also a different size. So you can see that the actual piece here is quite different, okay? And then between those two things, hopefully you can figure out which is which when you're trying to set things up. All right, next up, we've got their microphone, which is actually, it looks pretty excellent. So it's got a nice little pop filtering sort of wind reduction foam on it. Then it has one of the most adjustable and staying where you put itable snakes on it that I have ever actually encountered. It plugs into the headset just like this, so that you don't have to have it on, but you do have the option should you so desire. Now, it should also be noted that there is a microphone port built into the headphone one, or the to the mobile one as well. So there you have it. All right, finally, you've got an auxiliary connector, so you can use this to plug into something like an MP3 player or whatever else if you want to mix your audio into your game track. Whew, a Toslink optical digital cable, as well as an Xbox 360 chat cable. And that is all the cables that are included. You have all the cables you need, which is great because the headset has a lot of really cool functionality. So let's get into the control pod here, which, oh, okay, fine. You know what? Let's do the headphones, or the headset itself first. So it's got some pretty good clamping force here. And actually the foam, while very squishy, is a bit of a slow coming back one, like a slow bouncing one. So I suspect that when you first put these on, they might not feel that comfortable. I'm finding them a little bit tight, but once they break in, I would expect them to be quite comfy. Like I said before, they are a little bit on the heavy side, but at least they do feel very quality about it. They're not just unnecessarily heavy. Now, I did find that the headband has a bit of a metal piece here that I was able to feel. It does make it quite strong, obviously, but I was able to feel that on my head. Slick didn't have that problem, and I mean, if you kind of loosen it a little bit, you might not have that problem as well, but it's just something that I observed about the headset. You can replace the shields on the side, which is kind of cool, so you can put like different ones on there if you want. They just attach with little pieces right there, so they snap into place. I believe they've got a whole bunch of different stuff. I mean, what I would probably do with something like this is like paint it myself or something cool like that. In fact, you could even just leave them open if you wanted. That looks kind of neat as well. All right, adjustability. Not the most adjustable headphones I've ever encountered, but not bad either. So you see, if I'm wearing these, they sit quite high above my head. And if I bring them all the way down to the very bottom, they are a little bit too small for me. So I wear a medium-sized motorcycle helmet. So there you go. That should give you guys some idea what's up. The ear pads are take-offable, cleanable, replaceable, whatever you could want to do with them. It comes off quite easily and quite nicely. So let's switch over to the other side and show you guys, yes, here you go. So they are very rotatable, very adjustable. They should sit on your head correctly pretty much no matter what kind of a shape you have to it. Now the microphone plugs in here, and you can see there's actually a little alignment dots right there, so you can make sure you get that right if you happen to be looking at it while you're doing that. Okay, so you can see that there's also a guide right there, so you don't accidentally put it in the wrong way. This is actually important because of just how this is intended to sit in front of your mouth, because it doesn't really bend this way quite as well. It kind of bends whichever way you want, but the orientation of the mic is right there, so you don't want to be talking into the wrong side of the microphone. Now the headset does have 50mm drivers, however there's more to headphone quality than the size of the speakers inside. I hope you guys know that. But with that said, a cursory evaluation just very, very quickly does tell me that these are not your typical gaming headphones where it's just all marketing fluff and no sound quality whatsoever, and they happen to have a microphone on them. That is not the case. I haven't thoroughly auditioned them or anything like that, but at least you know for spending a couple $100 plus on something, you're not just getting something that you could have gotten for 20 bucks or similar. But this, my friends, is where the magic really happens. This is the USB control module, and it does a number of different things. So you can plug your headset, your Xbox communication connector over there, as well as your mobile phone or your MP3 player or whatever else. And this allows you to do a bunch of really cool stuff. So number one is you can do voice effects. So you can change the timbre of your voice. Very, very cool stuff. Number two is you can change the audio quality effects. So you can actually change your equalizer settings. You can set up different profiles for different games and select between them. You can download profiles from Turtle Beach that they've created or user-created profiles. But it even gets more interesting. If you have your phone plugged in as an MP3 player while you're gaming, you get a call, you can actually go, okay, this little dial right here, whoop, 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 turn that up, and you can continue your phone call without actually even interrupting your game, which is both really cool and a little bit sad. On the left side, you've actually got a dial that you can use to monitor your own audio input, so you can make sure that people can hear you okay and all that good stuff. Power. On the right, you've got your chat volume, which you can control separately from gain volume, as well as a mode control button. This is your main volume dial switch right up here in the middle. You've also got microphone mute, adjustments for the location of your speakers. So because it does support Dolby Digital, you can not only listen in surround, but you can also kind of adjust speaker positions virtually on the fly. You can switch to 5.1. You can turn surround on and off with sort of the buttons. Yes, the buttons over on this side. There's a dedicated Dolby Digital button right there. And of course, it works on PC, Mac, game consoles, pretty much anything you could possibly want. And the last one that I personally think is really cool is their dynamic chat boost. So what that does is, because all the sounds are going through the digital sound processor here and while being processed, it can do cool things like it can say, okay, there's an explosion in the game. Well, you don't want that to necessarily drown out your bros who are trying to communicate with you, so it can dynamically adjust chat volume to make sure that you can hear it above the volume of the game itself. So I'm going to put these on in spite of the fact that one of the Earpads is missing. Let me tell you, it is not comfortable to wear like this. But thank you for checking out my unboxing of the Turtle Beach 7 series headset. This particular one is the XP. Don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos. Leave a like if you like the video, leave a dislike if you dislike the video, and leave a comment if you think that this thing comes with an unbelievable number of cables. If I had to sort of come up with a disadvantage other than the fact that it's expensive, it would be, wow, look at all the cables. You're going to be like buried in cables. This is what I would look like if I was buried in cables.